Hey, what's up, YouTube? I thought I'd make a different kind of video. Um, this video has kind of led me, well, I guess I should say my spirit has led me to do this video. Um, I think it's been a long time coming, especially with my awakening that I'm going through. Um, I'm just going to go over a few things. A lot of you already know about certain things that I'm going to talk about. And some of you may not. And some of you may be still asleep and maybe you need to wake up. Just by maybe even just some words I just say, or just maybe a couple videos back. Um, but whatever the case may be, I believe that there's a purpose and there's a reason why I'm doing this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and just say what's on my mind and speak what is coming through me, whatever my spiritual journey is causing me to say. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. One of the things I did want to discuss and I wanted to bring up, and it's going to sound out the ordinary, and you don't have to be a religious person to listen to me or just hear this out, but just to hear the facts and just to know, you know, if you're a history buff like me and you love history, then it probably interests you. If you're not, then it's going to be boring to you. And you don't have to be a religious person. You don't have to be in it. But you know what? It does help to know who your creator is, to be accepting of your creator, and especially to love your creator. And by your creator, I do mean God. Because there is only one God. Okay? Um, a lot of you may not know about the first council of Nicaea. And I may be saying Nicaea wrong, and maybe Nicaea. I do not know how to pronounce this word right. But however the case may be, I'm just going to go give you a brief summary of what it is. And basically, it was the first meeting of the Church Council of the Christian Church. And it was orchestrated and conducted by Constantine the First. So it just was just it just stabilized what basically we call today the separation between church and state. But I'm not going to spend this video talking about this. What I do want to talk about and get back into the awakening journey that I did have, that I am having, that it did start out. But, I'm going to go back and forth, probably, dibble dabble, talk about the Council of Nicaea, and also talk about a very important book of the Bible called the Book of Thomas that was left out of the Bible. And like I said, I'll go back and talk about the Book of Thomas, but let me finish going briefly about the Council of Nicaea. And as I said, this was something that was orchestrated by Constantine the First. And you basically say that he was going to be the first pope or whatever, but he did organize the popes and the bishops and what's just now the Catholic Church today. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to get into that whole breakdown of how the Catholic Church is involved in this. But they definitely have a stronghold in the part of the way the Christian church is ran today. And a lot of the influence and a lot of things that we do is influenced by the Catholic Church. A lot of holidays and stuff that we normally celebrated, that we have grown up celebrating, such as Christmas and Easter, and even Halloween, is of course a pagan holiday, and this is something that was implemented by the Catholic Church. And like I said, I could go into detail, but a lot of you already know this information. You're already well aware of how this is broke down and how it works. So I'm not even going to get into that. I do want to get back into my whole purpose of this video, and it's, talking about my awakening journey. And, you know, I really don't even really know even where to begin or even start to even tell you how I even started. I just know that I've been awake for a long time, for quite a few years. I think that God has been hinting to me along the way, but I maybe ignored a lot of it. But now, recently, it seems like things have sped up in the last couple years at an alarming rate. And I think with me being awoke and my awakening, it's going to seem that way because my eye is open. And I think that a lot of you can probably um, recognize that along with me. Um, if you have your veil that's lifted over your face, or you know, you can see through that third eye, or you can see something that was there that wasn't there before, um, and it's more clear to you than it was before, and um, and that's kind of like what we're going on through, what's going on now in the world. It's almost like, I want to say it's deja vu. I really don't like to use the word deja vu, because then that gets into, you know, you're kind of like, you know, you get that that concept is as if, something's wrong with you, as far as, you know, you're a little bit off. But no, when I use the term deja vu, I meant that means that I've either been on the spiritual awakening before, and nothing is a coincidence. Everything is happening because it's supposed to be happening. The people and the places that I'm going, I'm supposed to be there. I am supposed to meet the people that I've met. It's no coincidence that this is happening. It's no coincidence that I'm making this video. It's no coincidence that whoever's listening to it is listening to it right now at the right moment when they're supposed to. So again, and I'm going to read this. When you do begin to awaken, you do go through all these layers. Your layers will just begin to shed. You're going to experience rage, depression, anxiety, the fear. You know, you're going to ride the wave. And you got to allow all these things to exit your system, because the illusion of self, your ego, is being shed. So your true self is being lifted, your spirit. And so it can survive and embrace, you know, this new transition. And that's what I was saying before, you know, I've been going through this transition for a long time. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody out there that can relate to exactly what I'm talking about. Um, and it doesn't happen overnight. You know, you don't wake up in the morning and say, you know, hey, I'm a different person. I'm living a different life. No, it does not happen that way. There are different manifestations that happens. There's different, um, you know, it is like you are like a cocoon, a butterfly coming out that cocoon, because you are going to stay in that cocoon until you come out with your wings flying. Um, and it's almost a good feeling. I don't know how this is going to sound, but you know, we are in the world right now in a dark time, and it is something that we cannot control. And but at the same time, it's almost like a relief. And let me explain that, because it's something that was already built up, and you've got all this chaos that's around you that's going on, but you're remaining calm within yourself because you're okay with what's going on with your spirit. I hope that I'm making sense. There's no need to fear what the unknown is, because basically we already know what the unknown is. If I'm pretty sure if you are in the know, you're going to understand what that means. Doesn't make sense saying it, but it makes sense when you think about it. I was born in this world not knowing that that this was going to be my spiritual awakening. So we think of ourselves as human beings searching for spiritual awakening, when in fact that you are spiritual beings attempting to cope with the human awakening. Seeing yourself from perspective of the spirit will help you remember, where we came from, and what we're here for, what we're here to do. So again, there's no such thing as coincidence. If I talk to you, or if I met you, is because I was supposed to talk to you and I was supposed to meet you. If I met someone, is because I was supposed to meet them. There are people in my lives that it seems that we already knew each other, that I already knew this person. We already went through this journey. So because there may be an issue or a problem or something, that I could either help this person or I could just leave that person alone. And I have made the decision in my life that there's been bad people in my life that I let go, and there's been some good people in my life that I've let go. Okay? Whether it be through my own decision or it's just something that happened. I just lost contact and that was it. Maybe it was supposed to happen for a reason. So, the saying, they said, don't blame anybody for your own faults or your own downfalls. That is exactly true. At the same time, what was supposed to happen was supposed to happen. And I'm going to get back to this thing that's going on in the world right now. Yes, it is going on at an alarming rate, and it's going by real fast. Now, it may be going by super slow to those who are sleeping, and it almost seems like it's a nightmare, a never-ending nightmare. But to those who are awakening, this is just a process that we're going to have to go through. We're going to have to either put back on our minds that we are just here temporary, and by that I mean this is just a shell. Now this is where it's going to start sounding, a little bit scary, but I'll jump back into it, so you don't get too scared of the words that come out of my mouth. And, I like I said, I don't want to say anything that's going to make anybody fearful, but just go ahead and this is why I put the words up here that I read, that I'm saying, so you could go back and really look at this, those who are in this spiritual awakening with me. I'm going to get back and I'm going to go back out into the book of Thomas, because I really want to bring that up, because this goes back to where I talked about the Council of Nicaea. Now, the Council of Nicaea, like I said, this is where they established basically what they were going to put in the Bible and what they were going to establish as being a Christianity. So they did decide on the 66 books of the Bible. And we know that everything is numbers with these people. So, of course, the number 66 is going to correlate with the number 3, and they do everything and the multitudes of three. So, divide by three. So that's another reason why the significance of the year, of the date of death of Jesus was at 33, and his healings and everything like that. I do believe first healing was at 12. I have to double check on that. But anyways, I want to get back into, not to go too far off topic, because I want to stay here. Like I said, I really want to talk about the Book of Thomas, because I think this is important, because a lot of people are asleep on this, and a lot of people don't even know that the Book of Thomas was actually a book that was left out. And I can see why they left it out, because this is a very important book that talked about Jesus' teachings. Basically, everybody questions, well, what happened to the adolescence years of Jesus? How did it skip from him being 12 to 33? What happened? Well, this is what happened. The Book of Thomas was taken out. The Book of Thomas, I've read it. It pretty much just tells you, it enlightens you about Jesus, and his teaching and his healings, and how the same healings and the same teachings that Jesus had, we have them within ourselves. And that's what was taught. And that's important for us to know. But you were not supposed to know about that power. That's why a lot of us that are awakening, we're finding out that we have that power, we have that ability that was always been within us. Okay? And I know that you know what I mean, and I know you know what I'm talking about, because we've all felt that strong feeling that we've had when we're going through a healing process. When we're too close to a loved one and that person is suffering, we can feel their pain, and we could even transfer maybe some of our healing onto them, not even being aware of it. But I'm telling you, it has happened, okay? Especially if you are awake, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and just read a little bit about the Gospel of Thomas. The Gospel of Thomas, of course, it was only discovered in 1945. So, it's a little bit skeptic, because, of the year it was found and who found it. But I do believe that this is a true scripture. And I do believe that it was purposely left out because of Jesus' teachings, because this is the power that they wanted to take away from us. This goes back to them having the power that they have now. This is very important for us to understand this. Okay? So if you have time, if you have the ability, please look up the Book of Thomas. There's been several releases of people have written about it. Okay. As I was saying, I'm sorry for the editing of this video, but there's been several manuscripts. There's been several books have been published about just on the Gospel of Thomas. And it's very intriguing, and you're not going to know about it because they don't teach you about it. And of course, you're not going to know from that aspect of being, if you are grown up a Christian, doesn't even matter what religion or Christianity that you're in, you're never going to know about the Book of Thomas unless, you research it yourself. So, and I guess you could say that about any religion that deals with the Bible. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get back onto talking about spirituality and my awakening, and get back into that, because, like I said, it's important that I stress this to you, because I know that I'm not the only one that's going through this spiritual awakening. A lot of us that are going through this enlightenment. A lot of us have already gone through it and are already, sitting there just waiting Or actually, we're just in the process of just being at peace. I'll put it like that. I mean, there's a reason why we use the word peace. So I just, I just want you to realize, and I'm just going to maybe just make this very clear. I don't force my views on anybody. These are only my views. Okay? So if you have your own spiritual journey, I would love to hear it. I don't have no problem with people leaving comments in my section and experiencing, and matter of fact, sharing me. There's been a few commenters, few of my subscribers who left me comments that we went back and forth, and they've let me know about, their spiritual journey or what's going on with them. And I love it because that's called being connected. Okay. Like I said, nothing happens out of coincidence. Let me go ahead and read these 12 spiritual awakening symptoms. Number 1, our lives don't make sense. We open new ways of thinking and feeling. We experience a sudden increase of energy levels. We reinvent the relationships with ourselves. Being alone or in silence is not scary anymore. Conversations with others change. The themes are become swallow. We feel connected with everything in the universe. A spiritual awakening may bring us higher senses, and the loss of fear of death is gone. The earth experience is part of the evolution. And I think that that's how I actually started my thing here with, realizing that the earth is flat. I'm just going to put that out there. And the inner need and the truth for authenticities. You got to excuse me. I don't pronounce my words too clearly, but you get the point. So, and we live our lives, with passion. And we seek to guide each other. And I just want to I add my own to that. We're going to seek to guide each other through this journey. Okay. So I added my extra on there because I believe that's my own conclusion. Because like I said, I'm not trying to push my views on anybody. You come to your own views, your own conclusion. This is my spiritual awakening that I want to share with you. And if you have similarities to my awakenings, like I said, nothing happens out of coincidence. You are meant to hear it. You are meant to hear and listen to me share my story. So I have no problem with leaving 20, 30-minute videos because maybe there's somebody out there that needs to listen to it. Maybe I needed to record it and listen to myself to remind myself that I'm on the spiritual journey. Okay? And I'm going to end this video with talking about the Book of Thomas. And these are actual scriptures out of the Book of Thomas. And I think that's something that we need to, it makes sense. And you could see why they left this out of the Bible. And then he said, whoever discovers the interpretation of these things will not taste death. Jesus said, those who seek shall not stop seeking until they find. When they find, they will be disturbed. When they are disturbed, they will marvel and reign over all. After they have reigned, they will rest. Jesus said, if your leaders say unto you, look, the Father's is a kingdom in the sky, and the birds in the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it is a sea, then the fish will proceed. Rather, the Father's kingdom, and it's outside of you. Now, this right here is phenomenal. For this book to be left out of the 66 books that they put in the Bible it makes sense for them to try to hold this power back from us. This lets you know how enlightened we are as human beings. How Jesus was a teacher and he is a healer, but we also have that within ourselves. No, they didn't want you to know this. But once those that are awake and we're awakening, we already know where our spiritual being is and how we are supposed to be in awakening. If we are in this day and age where we are now waking up, it's time. I mean, it happened for a reason. So, like I said, I'm going to end this video. I encourage you to research the Book of Thomas, research awakening, spiritual awakening. Excuse me. Or hey, you know what? Just make your own video and just say how you feel, like I'm doing, and don't let anything hold you back. And like I said, I'm taking a break here, probably from talking about the other thing that's going on in the world. Wanted to take the time to make this video and just talk about my spiritual journey. So if you like, leave me a comment. You don't have to be a subscriber to listen. I'm not here for I'm not here for likes and dislikes. I just basically like to get my point across and like to practice my freedom of speech. Or maybe I just like to hear myself talk. But whatever the case may be, I just like to share my spiritual awakening and my spiritual journey. And there's one more thing that I forgot to add, and I wanted to add, just going over last minute editing here. Last minute things is, I wanted to note that the Thomas was an actual apostle of Jesus. So he is one of the 12 apostles. So that's important for you to know that as well. I don't know, again, I do not know the exact reason why they left the book out. But it's obvious just by reading, they did not want us to know the knowledge that this book brought forth. Because Constantine was a very powerful man. The Council of Nicaea was a very important establishment. Like I said, it established the whole concept of the Catholic Church. You could do your own research on that. I think it's important that you do know this, especially the aspect of Thomas being one of the apostles. So with that, thank you for listening, and like and subscribe.